What's up, guys? Yo, it's really pretty cold. How are you all there? We're just gonna continue with our lectures from where we left. So today I'll be touching on arithmetic operators. Okay, so computer science is easy, but I discovered at school and from following many materials that people try to make it so much complicated when things should be really easy. So we're gonna jump into arithmetic operators. Just like we know in maths, we'll go the addition one, it's a plus, we'll go the subtract one, it's a negative. I was expecting this to be an X, but it's an asterisk, means multiplication in Java programming and almost in every programming language. We'll go to the fifth uncommon one, which is a modulus, which means remainder. It gives the remainder after doing the division. So because this one is not that common, I'm just gonna give you an example. If I say 7 modulus 2, the remainder, it means the remainder that is left when we divide 7 by 2. So the answer to this, as an example, should be 1, since this is not an even number. Okay, let's give you another example. If I say 8 modulus 5, that is, if we have the divisor being 5 and the dividend being 8, and we apply a modulus operator in between them, then that means again remainder after dividing 8 by 5, which should be equal to 3. As simple as that. Okay, so we have the fifth one with this division. So this was the fourth. Okay, so division is the answer that we get after dividing a number by another number. Okay, that is the number of time. I'm sure you are pretty aware of this one. So with Java, there is a trick with this one. If you take integers or variables of type long and you divide them, if both of them are both integers, then the answer that you get is an integer. Okay, there is no round off, say just a truncated integer. However, if any of the two numbers, the dividend and the divisor, is of type double or float, then the answer that you are getting is going to be a float, just like in this case. In this case, we can see that the dividend is a float, which is 22.0, so the answer is a float. Okay, so if either the divisor or the dividend is a float or a double, the answer you get is a double. If both of them as well as a float or a double, the answer is a double. But if both of them is an int, the answer you get is a truncated integer. Okay, that is all I was trying to say here. And again, as we saw in the example of our calculator that we did, there is no division by 0. That won't work for you. Okay, so the answer does not exist. It's gonna spit an error for you. Let us jump on to the next topic, which is operators and operands. What are these animals? If you're going to want to program, you're not going to run away from mathematics, so it's good to learn these things and learn the terminology and the lingo at an early stage. Okay, so that is why I compiled this lecture for you. So arithmetic operators are the ones that we just discussed: division, multiplication, modulus. There are many of them that you will come across, but remember, the purpose of this lecture is not to feed you with everything. It's giving you enough foundation so that you can be equipped enough to go and hunt for yourselves. Okay, so those are your operators. Then what are operands? It is the variables or the values that you apply your operators on. You can combine variables or numbers known collectively as operands with these operators, which is these ones, in parentheses, to form arithmetic expression. So what are operands? Variables or numbers. They are collectively known as operands. Okay. So we have got some categories of operators, of arithmetic operators. We've got unary operators. That in a unary operator is just an operator that has only one operand, means to say it's only applied to one operator. Just like the negative sign here, the subtraction sign is applied only on cost. Okay, and like in this example, where the asterisk, which is the multiplication operator, is applied on text and discount. This makes this asterisk or this multiplication operator a binary operator. The binary being two operands are associated with this operator. In this case, it's a unary operator. Why? Because only cost, one operand, is associated with this operator. Okay, I shall show this in example. Also give you examples here. I shall show this in code. Okay, in our demo. So let us move on to our next lecture. Our next slide. I mean, where are we? 6 minutes. That is. You guys can pause and actually look at the slides. Should you want to read for yourselves? Operators and operands. Here we are. So we go to the next one. Precedence rules just means which one do you need to solve first. If you were given an expression, let us say, let me give you an expression like, for example, I'll give you open 9 plus 8 minus 4 times 6. What is the answer? So the precedence rule just says which one do you solve first, these numbers. So because of the mathematical Modulus rule, we know that we're going to solve what is in bracket first, meaning to say we're going to solve 9 plus 8, which is equal to 17. Then we solve the multiplication. So it's going to be 4 times 6, which becomes 24. Then lastly, we're going to solve the binary operator negatively. So we're going to have 14 minus 7, that is a 7 answer there. Okay, like so. Okay, so the precedence rule here was solve what is in bracket first, followed by the multiplication, then lastly do subtraction. So this is it broken down for you. First, simplify brackets. Second, simplify unary operators plus negative, like I showed you in the example of unary and binary operators. Then third, solve your binary operators. This example did not involve unary operators, by the way. Fourth, the binary arithmetic operators plus and negative. So multiplication and division and modulus comes first before negative and positive. Like we did here, we started by multiplying before we could subtract. By the way, I gave you a nice representation here. This means Modulus means please solve brackets first, followed by unary operators, followed by division, multiplication, modulus, add, subtract. Just in this order, it will work for you. Okay, though you can actually mix add, you can actually switch subtract and add, or subtract division, modulus, and multiplication, but this still work Modulus. Okay. Java respects brackets, as you saw here. Okay. So the unary operator also can be used when you actually prepend them, just like we saw in this slide here. That if I say balance is equal to minus cost, it just means is balance is equal to the current value of balance that we have minus cost. Okay, so I'll show you that in a demo programming language. Okay. So with which operators is this tricky allowed? So I gave you with a negative, multiplication, division, and the modulus. You can actually do that tricky. It's actually going to help you have a simplified code. Okay. The last slide for this lecture in the theory section is actually the increment and decrement operators. They are unary operators because they are applied to one variable. Okay, so instead of writing count is equal to the current value of count plus 1, you just write it as count plus plus without this equal sign. Instead of writing count is equal to count minus 1, you can just write it as count minus minus, which becomes this example that I gave you in the precedence rule. Yeah, they are unary operators plus plus and negative negative, as I showed you here. Okay, our next lecture should be on strings, but I'm gonna end here for this lecture on actually arithmetic operators. So it's time for us to do a demo. I'm gonna quickly do I'm gonna cut this video so that it's not that much big for me to upload it for you guys. Then our next lecture should be just the demo for arithmetic operators. I'm not really worried about rushing on time. I'm worried about you guys having a good understanding of what we're doing. Okay, so I had hard times learning Java at school because people were teaching me were just running. Okay, so I need you guys to understand. Have a good basic so that when you read, things make sense to you. That is what worries me, not being worried about having short lectures. So I'll try as much as I can to explain what I believe will make you guys understand. That is why you see me writing things like +8 to somebody who knows what they're doing, or the Java who is a pro in Java say, this is crap. But I'm putting myself in the shoes of somebody who does not know what the hell is an arithmetic operator. It's just terms that confuse people, but I'm just displaying it to you so that you can have an understanding before you can go and hunt for yourselves. Okay, so that is it for this lecture. Yours always, Tabish Sani from Irving Academy.